So good afternoon, one and all. So in the previous sessions of this MEFA classes, we have discussed about that importance of the price elasticity demand. So why we need to take the consideration of the price elasticity demand. So what are the various things we have discussed? What are the various useful things for determining this price elasticity of demand? So in the morning also I have taken a revision of this thing. Okay. So next. We have started the concept of demand forecasting. So why the demand forecasting is important? Because forecasting is nothing but future prediction of that product demand. So it is the objective assessment for the demand. So with that demand forecasting only, the business firm, whether the business firm has to extend its business or they have to close their business or they have to slow down their process. This depends upon that demand forecasting only, because we are going to identify whether the demand is there for their products, for their firm products or not. We are identifying the things, we are predicting the things. So whether in the coming future for their products the demand is existing or not. So with that only, because as it is very important, because the firm has to take the decision whether they have to extend the business or they have to slow down the process or they have to completely close the business. So for increasing the sales also, for increasing the production also, for right time they will take the right decision because of this demand forecasting only. Already we have discussed in that last class. So we have discussed the types of demand forecasting. So what is the importance of demand forecasting? These are the various topics in demand forecasting, because this topic is very important in your examination point of view. So later that we have discussed the what are the approaches to demand forecasting. Now in today's class we are discussing about that demand forecasting methods. So the demand forecasting methods are also very important. So by using which methods we are going to forecast the demand of a product. So by using that which method we are predicting the whether the product has the demand or not. So these methods of demand forecasting are divided into so many number of types. So basically what are the types? Based on the intentions of the customer. One second. So here they are divided on the based on the intentions of the customer. So whether they are going to use the market experiment methodology or based on the past trends or statistical methods where they are going to use or judgment approach. These are the main categories or main methods of the demand forecasting. So in these methods also we are having the sub methods. So we are going to discuss all these methods one by one. So at the beginning we are having that primary level. What are the main methods? Intentions of the customer, market experiment method based on the past trend, statistical methods, and judgment approach. These are the main methods, main categories. In these main categories also we are having the subcategories of method. So we are going to discuss about that intentions of that customer. Based on that intention of the customer, we are having four more methods. What are those four more methods? Survey methods, collective opinion methods, Delphi technique, Delphi method or Delphi technique, test market method. So we are going to discuss about this first method, that is intentions of the customer. In that intentions of the customer, I am going to discuss about that survey method. Observe which method I am discussing. The first one I am going to discuss survey method. See here. So first one is the intentions of the customer. In this intentions of the customer, I am going to discuss about the survey method. So intentions of the customer means we are taking the opinions of that customers. So for forecasting the demand for a product, we are collecting the opinions or we are taking that suggestions from that customers or we are taking the opinions from the customers. So based on that intentions of the customer, we are having the first method is called survey method. So survey method is also called as a direct method. Okay. Another name for this survey method is also called as direct method. So this method is used for short-term forecasting. So already in the previous class, we have discussed there are four types of demand forecasting methods. What are they? passive methods, active methods, short-term forecasting methods, and long-term forecasting method. Short-term means suppose if you want to do the things in a less than 1 year time, that means if you want to utilize your whatever the resources are available with you, you want to utilize them in an effective manner, effective utilization of your products which you are having in your firm. You are having already finished goods. How to utilize these? How to promote the increase the sales of these goods which you have finished, or you are having some raw material. How effectively use this raw material? So that is the short term method. So survey method is useful for the short term analysis, and it is also called the direct method. So what we are doing in this method, the consumers are contacted personally, because we are saying we are taking the intentions of the customer. That means whatever the consumers we are having, we are directly contacting the personal. We are contacting personally those consumers, and we are collecting the information from their consumers. And that means we are asking them what are their intentions, which products they like. We'll ask some types of questions like that. So what are the future purchase plans of those consumers? So we are identifying, or we are from the questions, we are posing some questions to them. We are posing some questions to them. They are replying, giving some replies to those answers. So based on that, what we are going to collect the information, we are going to get that information. Future purchase plans. What are the future purchase plans? In this survey method, again we are having two more method. One is the census method, and another one is the sample method. One is the census method. One is census method. So I'm going to discuss about this census method. So what is this census method? So census method comes under the category of survey method. So in this method, all the consumers are contacted to know their preference for the product in the future. So we are contacting the consumers. That means we are directly approaching that consumers. Okay, or we are conducting interviews to those consumers, because we want to take some reviews. So we want to know the preferences of that consumers. So what are the interest in the future? So what are the interest of their products? So this method, all the consumers are contacted. Why we are contacting these consumers? To know their preferences for the products in the future, which type of products they are going to prefer in the future. So we are knowing that type of information. So how we are conducting the interviews? These interviews are conducted either orally or through questionnaire. So either orally we will ask the questions, or we can go through some questionnaires. We will prepare some certain type of questions, because based on that answers only we have to predict the things. So we are identifying the things. This type of products has the demand. So for retrieving such type of solutions, what we are doing? We are conducting either orally or through questionnaire. Okay, the interviews are conducted through two ways. One is oral method, and the other method is the questionnaire method. So with the help of this method, the probable demand for all the consumers is summed up. That means here we are selecting one area. That means, so suppose I want to collect the information from the group of schools. So where that group of schools are located, I will go for that area. So for that location, suppose in the Satrampadu, most of the academic institutions are there. Suppose I will cover that Satrampadu area, whatever the academic institutions are there. From that academic institutions, I want to collect some information, because whatever the products I am supplying, those are related to that academic institutions only. Okay, I want to collect that information because those are the consumers for my business. So I will select that particular area, and I will approach those consumers, and I will collect the information. So whatever the information I have collected, I will sum up all the information to prepare that report, final report. So hope you understood. So demand forecasting methods are many types. In that we are discussing about intentions of the customer. In intentions of the customer, the first method is the survey method. In that survey method, we have completed the explanation of census method. Now I am moving to the another method called sample method. The second method is the sample method. So the second method is sample method. What is this sample method? So here already in the DW and BA we have discussed the sample random sample sampling. Next What are the other methods? We have discussed stratified sampling, sample handling without sampling. So these are the various methods without replacement, with replacement, and without replacement. Various methods we have studied. So those methods are also we have used for forecasting the demand here. Sample method means we are having the population N. In that N population, we are not performing the analysis on the total population. We are taking a sample of people. That means if I take any particular location or geographical area, in that geographical area, we are having lakhs of people. So I am not contacting that lakhs of people. I will take 1,000 sample. I will take 1,000 people. I am going to contact that 1,000 people only. So by a random manner, or I can implement that stratified sampling method. Did you understand the things? We will select a particular area. In that particular area, we are taking a sample of people. So we are using the sample of persons. In this method, sample of consumers is selected for the interview. So in that area, some lakhs of people are living, but I don't want to take the opinions of those complete lack of people. In that, I am taking a sample of consumers. I am selecting and I am conducting the interview for those sample of people. So here, whatever the sample method we are applying, either it may be a random sampling method or stratified sampling. So already I have explained in that DW and BA what is random sampling and stratified sampling. So if you use this sample method, because this method is very easy to implement and less costly method and highly useful, because in that particular area which you have chosen, there we are having the total population is 1 lakh, but you are choosing only a random number of people, that is 1,000. That means for doing interview or collecting information from the 1,000 people is very less time, and it will take the method is very easy to implement, and the method whatever the result from that method is also, it is also very useful information. But I can't say this is the accurate method. This is not giving the accurate results, because in 1 lakh, what is the percentage we are taking? Very less percent. 1,000 people we are taking. So very less sample we are taking. So we hope that this method is not giving good accurate result, but the implementation of this method is very easy. Okay, so what we have discussed, the first category is the intentions of the customer. In that intentions of the customer, we are having the survey method. In that survey method, we are having that so in that method, what we are having, I'm going moving to the previous slide. Census method and sample method we have completed. Next, I'm going to the second method in the intentions of that customers. The second method is a collective opinion method. In this collective opinion method, what we are taking, in the previous survey method, we have taken the opinions of the consumers, but I have specified the word in the red color. See here, we are taking the opinion of the salesman, sales executives or marketing experts. So we are taking that opinion from the salesman, because the opinions from the salesman are collected and those data is used for analyzing that demand forecasting. So we are going to analyze which products has the demand in the coming future. We are going to predict which products has the demand in the coming future. So based on the opinion of that salesman only, sales executives only, not from the consumers data. Okay, because the salesman can know the pulse of the consumer, because they are moving round by round, they are moving, and in the entire market they know how the marketing strategies are going to be changed. So what is the current trend, what are the current products, or what is the current trend, according to that trend which type of goods are people are interested, so which type of product people are interested, these sales executives are going know the things. So the salesman can know the pulse of the consumer, they know the consumer pulse. That means what are the tastes of that consumer, which the consumer is going to prefer. So those things are well known by that salesman. So and they can give the correct information about the likely demand for the products. So which demand, which products has the good demand in the coming future, they give the correct information. So collective opinion method, it is a method where we are collecting the data from that salesman. because as the salesman know the pulse of the consumer. This is the thing. Next, the third method in that previous thing we are discussing, Delphi technique. So Delphi technique is also known as expert opinion method. I didn't specify the name here. This is also known as expert opinion technique. The another name for Delphi technique is known as expert opinion technique. So opinion views are taken from the experts. So here previously we have chosen the sales executives. At the beginning we have chosen that consumers. Here we are taking the domain experts. So different domain experts, from that domain experts we are taking the collecting the information, because we are collecting the opinions and views. These are collected from the experts. They are coming from the different backgrounds, because for running my firm I need the experts from, I need the suggestions from different domain experts. So I am taking the opinions and views from these different domain experts. Under this method, the experts are asked likely demand for a particular product. So we are asking the experts, so can you suggest me or can you give some ideas? So how can we consider that future demand for the product? We are taking the suggestions from these experts. So here the experts may give different opinions on them because they are from different backgrounds. Each expert is not the expert opinion is not same with that another expert opinion. So they are giving the different opinions on a particular concept, because we are performing this same process repeatedly again and again unless a common viewpoint is emerged. So whether we have to increase the production, so whether finally we are considering our product has the future demand or not. So based on this process repeated again and again, we are going to come to a conclusion. That is, the conclusion is nothing but common viewpoint is emerged. So for getting this common viewpoint, the process is repeated again and again unless we are going to get the common viewpoint. So the process is repeated again and again. So at the survey method, we have taken that information from the consumers. So later we have taken that information from the sales experts, sales executives. So later in Delphi technique or expert technique method, we are collecting the opinions and views from that experts, domain experts. So these experts are from different background. We are taking the information from this. So the last method is the fourth method is in intentions of the customers, that is a test market method. What is this? Test market method. So by using this method also, we are estimating the demand of the particular products in a particular area, or we want to find out, suppose I am going to launch a new product. So whether when I'm launching this new product in the market, it is going to sustain in the market, whether I will get any sales for my product. So how much percentage of sales I will get. So whenever a person is going to launch a new product, they are estimating the sales potential of that existing products or new products in a geographical area. So what they will do in a test means they are performing a test. What type of test they are going to perform? They will select any new geographical area. So that means they will choose one particular geographical area. In that geographical area, they will estimate that marketing conditions. They are going to launch their product, their new product in that market only. Suppose some new products are going to be launched, but some business firms, they are not launching that new product in all the locations of that country. So in main areas only, suppose they want to launch the product in particular state or particular cities, they are going to launch. So in test market means they are testing the things, whether their product has demand or not. For identifying that what they are doing, they are choosing any particular geographical area that is selected, so which truly represent the market, and the product is launched in that area only. Okay, so based on that result they are getting from that geographical area, they will take that further decision. They have to launch this same product in other areas, or they have to improve the production of their products, whether if they are getting the sales of that product. So suppose their sales are good in that X area, so they have launched that product in a X geographical area, so they got good sales in that area. So they will expect that So if I launch the same product in other area also, I will get so much sales. So they will go for launching of their products. Okay, once again I'm moving back. So based on the intentions of the customer, we have completed survey method. Next one is that collective opinion method. Next is the Delphi technique. Next is the test market method. We are going to the another technique. So second one is the market experimentation method. Okay, so market experimentation method is nothing but we are choosing some consumers. Okay, for those consumers we are giving some money we are distributing those consumers, and we are asking those consumers to shop around in a stimulated market. So we are providing some money to those customers, and we are asking them to do the purchase in the market. So based on that consumers, that means what type of products they have bought, so what is the price level of that product, what is the packing of that product, what is the flavor of that product, which flavor they are liking, which type of packing they are liking. So such type of things they can be identified. So this is called that market experimentation method. So in this method we are giving some money, we are providing some money to some of the consumers, and we are asking them to shop around in the stimulated market, and we are estimating the behavior. The consumer behavior is studied by varying prices, quantity, packing, advertisement, color. So we can whether we have to change these things by improving our sales. Suppose if you take any toothpaste, Colgate toothpaste, so the product is coming from last 30 or 40 or before 40 years. So the same packing they are not maintaining. So for 5 to 6 years or 3 to 4 years, every time they are changing the packing of that Colgate toothpaste, because people also like to buy the things whether they are in attractive. So the packing they are changing. Sometimes they are changing. We are including some herbal ingredients, or whether they are changing the flavors of that toothpaste. So they are adding mint flavors, or they are adding some other things, and they are giving some other providing some other things to attract that customers. So they are changing the colors of the toothpaste also. So at the beginning the toothpastes are only in white color, some later some colors are also added. So they are changing the quantity levels, packaging levels. So and they are changing the advertisements also to attract the products. So these are the market experimentation product. So there are sometimes they are offering the discounts to promote their sales. These are the different things they are doing. So if you take the soap, they are changing, they are adding sandal flavors, sometimes they are adding rose flavors, sometimes they are adding honey or other neem herbal type of items for skin betterment. So they are saying like that. These are all market experimentation method. So based on the fast trends, what are the fast trends? So here we are using a fitting a trend linear of trend forecasting method. So based on the fast trends, we are using a method called fitting a trend linear of trend forecasting method. So here in this method, what we are having, each and every company. So whether the organization is existing from the last years, they are maintaining some historical or sales data. So they are maintaining their transactions of data. They are having some sales or historical data. So whatever that sales data available with us, they will draw a chart and estimating by observing where the trend line lies. That means whatever the data, sales data available with them, they are going to draw a graph, the trend, where the trend line is going to be lies, how the line is going to be exist. So they are going to find the things. That means we are taking the sample data and we have to draw a line fitting the data. So where that trend is going to be exist. So that line can be extended further towards the future period, or the corresponding sales graph can be read from the graph. So from that line, we can it can be extended further sales. That means whether we are able to extend that business in that same manner, or we have to take some considerations from this and we have to add some other things. So that can be done by using the fitting a trend line of linear of trend forecasting method. Next, least square method. What is this least square method? See here, they are using some mathematical formulas to calculate the things. So in this method, again, what they are using the statistical data to find the trend line which best fits the available data. So whatever the statistical data available with that company or firm or enterprise, they are going to fit the data with the line. So what is the best fits line? So doing the calculation, they are using the equation called SC is the total annual sales. So they are going to predict what are the annual sales for this year. So last year or in sorry in 2019 we are having so much sales. So in 2018 we are having so much sales. So in 2020 what are the what are the sales of this 2020 year? So they are going to predict the sales of the 2020. S is nothing but sales, and A and B are the past data calculations, and from that past data we are going to use that values of these variables, and T is the year for which the forecast is required. So here we want to predict the sales for 2020. So we have to use that year, that is 2020, and A and B are the constant values we are using from that past data. So this is the one formula. We are using the least square method. So we are using the statistical data to find the trend line. That means whatever the best line that is going to fit the data with that available data, we are doing that experiment. That is the least square method. Okay. Next is the time series analysis. In this time series analysis, we are considering so and so number of variables we are considering, because this method attempts to build seasonal, trend, cyclic and irregular variations into the estimating equation. So here also we are using one formula for calculating the demand of a product. That means we are predicting the demand of a product. For predicting the demand of a product, we are using number of variables. So season to season, the product demand is going to be changed. Suppose if you take the winter season, the woolen cloths are used more when compared with that summer season and the rainy season. So whatever the product I am launching or I am selling in that market, so whether my product has any seasonal effect. Suppose in winter season, the soaps which we are using are different from the normal seasons. Suppose we will use in the winter season milky based soaps or grease based soaps or whatever it may be, glycerin based soaps we are using. So season to season, whatever the things we are using are also changed. So we are considering that type of variables also, trend. So suppose the trend is going to be changed, means the accessories we are also using are also going to be changed. So this comes under mostly in the dresses or accessories. Okay. So if the trend is going to be changed, means whatever the cloths or whatever the things, the fashion is going to be changed, means the products which we are going to be changed. So if it is a cloth industry, means whatever the modifications they have to use for that particular cloth they are making. Cyclical. So any repetitions are going to be occur. Suppose in the previous 20 years back, what we are used particular types of jeans or whatever the pants we are using, again we are using in the same things in after 20 years. So is there any cyclic changes or not? Irregular variations. So due to some effects, there may be irregular variations. So all these variables are we are considering for predicting that annual sales. Each and every variable is one type of variable. We are using all the variables and we are summing up all these variables to find that annual sales. These are all the constants. A is the trend and B is the season and C is the cycle, and the next is the irregular fluctuations. All these variables we are using and we are summing up all these things to find out the annual sales. Okay. So these are the data we are using that accumulated function. We are calculating that accumulated data. From that accumulated data, these are analyzed to determine the nature of the existing trend. So from this, what we are going to predict, what is the existing trend, which type of product now the consumers will use, what is the current trend, that we are going to predict. Next. So economic barometer. So what is this barometer? So barometer is an instrument which is going to predict something. So what is this economic barometer? So by using this instrument, we are going to calculate that economic things. What economic things? Suppose if I want to predict whether there is a demand for tractors or not. Most of the tractors are used by farmers only. Suppose if the rains are happened in correct season, if the crop is good, so this year agriculture people are very much satisfied. A good crop is acquired. So based on the economy of that farmers, if the farmers are economically good, then we can estimate that demand for the tractors, because the demand for tractors depends on the farmers income or agriculture income. This year agriculture is very good in our country, or this year agriculture is good in that particular geographical location because the rains come in at a correct season. So no any disturbances at all, no cyclic differences at all. So the crop is also good, the farmers earned good money, so the economy of that farmers is good, so we can expect the demand for tractors for that. So this is the economic barometer. That means, for example, the government has allotted some site to XYZ people. So the government has allotted a site to XYZ people. So for construction of some buildings, so they have given a land for XYZ people for the construction of the buildings. They have given a contract. So when the government has given a contract to so XYZ people for the construction of the buildings, so they have to do the construction of the buildings. So for the construction of the buildings, what are the things required? Cement, steel, sand, these type of items are required. So automatically the demand for that items will be increased. So whatever the thing we are doing, so based on that thing, what are the things going to be affected? We can measure the things. That is economic barometer. See, this method forecasts the future based on the occurrence of the present events. What are the current event is going to be occur? Suppose the construction business is good in present scenario. So automatically construction is good means, so there is a lot of demand for cement and sand or other things. So we have to identify and we have to see whether there exists a relationship between the demand for a commodity or product and certain economic indicator. So we have to find out that relationship between that economic indicator and that demand of a product. So this can also be estimated by using the method of least square. This can be estimated by using the method of least square. So method of least square means already I have told you. This can also be explained by using the method of least square. That's about that economic barometer. So once again I'm moving to your previous flow chart. So what we are discussing, methods of demand forecasting. What are the main methods? What are the main methods? Intentions of the customers. In that intentions of the customers, I have discussed survey method, collective opinion method, Delphi method, test market method. Okay. Already I have discussed the market experiment method. So based on past trends, I have discussed some methods, the least square method, barometric method, some other methods I have discussed. I didn't specify the methods as the space is not sufficient. So now we have to discuss these statistical methods and judgment approach methods. So up to this we have covered. So I am moving, economic barometer is also completed. Now that's why I'm moving to that statistical method. So statistical methods. So in these statistical methods, what are the things we are having? Navi method and regression analysis. As you are also know that Navi based method and regression analysis. So this Navi's method, we are having some probabilities we are using, and these probabilities are also we are using on the past data of information. So each and every firm or organization are available with some historical data. With that available historical data, we are going to predict the demand for the products. So it is based on the past data of information available, for example, of historical observation of sales. In 2017, we are for our product, we are having the sales like this. In 2018, for our products, we are having the sales. 2017, 18, 19, 20. So in 2020, whether we have the sales in this way or not, we are going to predict. Okay, that is the thing. Okay. So regression analysis. So regression analysis is nothing but it is also a statistical method. In regression analysis, what we are taking the data and we are finding a line to fit that best fit of that data. So that is in this regression analysis, we are having two methods, simple regression and the multiple regression. Simple regression is nothing but linear regression and the multiple regression. So how we are finding that regression analysis? Already we have discussed this regression method. You know that in DW and BI. So regression method is nothing but here we are using the two variables here, dependent variable and the independent variable. What we are using? Dependent variable and the independent variable. So what is this dependent variable here? Y is equal to some ax plus b. We are writing the equation. So if y is the dependent means we are taking demand as the dependent variable. What we are finding? Whether that product has demand or not. So your y is that dependent variable. So if you are using only one independent variable, that means variables that determine the demand is an independent variable. Okay. So dependent variable is your demand variable. So variable which it is going to predict the demand for that product is called that independent variable. If you use one dependent and one independent, it is called simple or linear regression. When you are using one dependent and multiple independent variables, this is called multiple linear regression. That means, suppose in the previous case, I will go here. I have used multiple variables for predicting the annual sales. Multiple variables. That means these are the different variables I have used for predicting that demand of that product, demanding of that sales of that particular product. So like that, in multiple regression, we are using the different variables for predicting the demand of a product. So demand is your dependent variable. So the variable which you are using the prediction is called that independent variable. So next one is after statistical method, we are having the judgmental approach. This is the last method. See here, the management has available with number of methods for forecasting the demand of a product. So we are available with number of methods. So whatever the methods available with us, we are unable to use any one of the above methods. We are having so many number of methods, intentions of the customers, barometric methods, least square methods, market test methods. So number of methods are there. So they are unable to use any one of the above methods. So they have to make their own judgment in forecasting the demand. So they are available with the number of methods, but they are not able to implement that methods, or they didn't come to a conclusion which method they have to use, or they are not unable to predict the things. So finally, management people who are at that management level, they will take the judgment in forecasting the demand. So these are the demand forecasting finally, which we have discussed. So management level people, they finally take that decision. See here, intentions of the customer, market experiment based on the past trends, statistical methods and judgment methods. In statistical methods, we have discussed the Navy Bay methods. In regression, we have discussed the two methods, linear regression and the multiple regression. So finally, judgment approach. Okay. So judgment approach, we can say it is a good method because the management level people, they are taking the decision how to forecast the method and which method they have to use. So these things also sometimes depends upon the based on the calculations. So they have implemented so and so number of methods based on the calculations or results. They will choose any particular method. They have used any one of these methods. They got some results. So finally, they implement any one of the method, or they will take any one of that method for predicting that demand. In examination point of view, the demand forecasting methods are very, very important. So the last topic in this first unit is requisites of a good forecasting methods. So when you want to use a forecasting method, demand forecasting method, what are the requisites? When we have to say that method is a good forecasting method, the things you have to see here: accuracy, simple and easy to compute, economy, availability. So maintenance should be up to date. So we will see the things. Accuracy. See here, whatever the method we are using, we should say that method should give accurate results. Suppose if you take that first methods, survey based methods, we are using census methods or another methods, sample methods. If you go for the sample method, in total population, we are taking a sample of people. So there we can't say that method is going to give accurate results. But in census method, we are we are communicating directly the consumers. We are making interviews, or we are conducting interviews, or we are posing some questionnaires to that consumers, and we are taking that suggestions or ideas or opinions from the consumers. That method is an accurate method. So whenever we are using that particular method, it is necessary to check the accuracy of that past forecast against future performance. That means, so by using that past data, how the future performance is going to be done, or whether you want to present the forecast of that means I want to predict that demand in the present scenario, that is present forecast against the past performance. So based on that past performance, I am going to forecast that present demand of that particular product. So whatever the things you have to do, so whether you are using that method is giving the accurate result or not, so you have to check the accuracy. Simple and easy to compute. So the management must be able to understand and have the confidence in the methods used for forecasting. So the management people are going to suggest this type of method you have to use for forecasting the demand. So whatever the method we are using, that method must be simple and it is easy to apply, and whatever the calculations we are doing, they are easy to compute. So that must be able to understand by that management also to give the confidence. Okay. Next, economy. So cost must be weighted against the benefits of the forecast to the operation of the business. So we need to consider that economic conditions. Based on your economy conditions only, we have to weight the cost must be weighted. So based on that forecast, whether we are going to get the benefits or not, those benefits can be used in that business or not. So we have to consider that economic related issues also. Next, availability. The methods employed should be able to produce meaningful results quickly or not. So whatever the methods you are using for finding or predicting that demand of a product, they are able to produce meaningful results in a quick way or not. So I am using sample based method. This method is giving good results or not, or whether it is giving in a quickly or not. Sample method gives the results in a quick manner, but it is not that much high accurate. Okay. So some methods will take a lot of time, but they give good results. So based on your availability and your basic conditions, you have to check this availability also. Next, maintenance should be up to date. The forecast should be able to being maintained on up to date basis. That means, so uh, based on the trends or whatever it may be, current situations and current environment conditions, the demand going to be changed. So whether you whatever the forecast you are going to do, this should be capable of being maintained on up to date basis, though that forecast is also be maintained on the up to date basis. So this is the end of your third unit. Okay. Next we are having the collective opinion method, Delphi technique, test market method. Second one is the market experimentation method. Next, based on the fast trends, least square method, time series method, economic barometric method, and we have discussed the statistical methods. In statistical methods, Navi method and regression analysis method. Last one is the judgment approach. Finally, this we have seen what are the requisites we required for good forecasting methods. So when we can say particular forecasting method is a good method, for that method, what are the requisites we require? So these are the various things we have discussed in the class. In the previous classes, we have discussed what is meant by demand, types of demand, law of demand. So what are the limitations for that law of demand, elasticity of a demand, and defining what is the importance of that elasticity of demand, types of elasticity of demand. There are three types of types. price elasticity, cross elasticity, and income elasticity. And we have seen various cases in that elasticity of demand. In price elasticity, we are having 5 cases, and income elasticity, again, we are having the 5 cases. We have seen all that 5 cases. So what are the things, factors affecting that price elasticity of demand? Already we have discussed in the last classes. These are all very, very important questions in examination point of view. Law of demand, factors affecting that demand, limitations to that law of demand, next assumptions to that law of demand, elasticity of demand, and what are the cases in price elasticity of demand and income elasticity of demand. And next topic is demand forecasting.